Well, Qantas has this morning announced a loss of $1.7 billion in just the last financial year. But the CEO, Alan Joyce, is also outlining plans to restart international flying. And he says it'll happen as early as December. Business editor Ross Greenwood joins me now. Ross, Alan Joyce being very optimistic here, perhaps, but he thinks international flights will start by the end of the year. Why?
He's planning for them right now, as a matter of fact, Laura. And the interesting part about this is he says that the phase 3 plan of the National Cabinet sees 80% vaccination rates by December this year. And as soon as that happens, he sees Australians flying on Qantas planes to places that are considered also highly vaccinated and COVID safe. So these are places including the United States, Japan, the UK. He also says that there would be Canada would be amongst them. Japan would be another one. So these are the ones that basically he says he's planning to fly from. At the same time, he's also saying that plans to fly to places where there are low vaccination rates and also high rates are going to be put off until next year. So there's places like Bali, Jakarta, Manila, Bangkok, Phuket, Ho Chi Minh City and Johannesburg. But you can see that really it's a situation where he wants to get it going. He expects also to be back to flying at around about 50 to 70% levels of international flying, pre-COVID levels, by June next year. So Alan Joyce right now is really gearing up the airline to try and get themselves back in the air internationally and really get Australia's borders open.
Indeed, and I think he expresses the sentiments of us all when it comes to international travel. But let's look a little bit more deeply now at the financial results. The loss, the headline, $1.7 billion is just extraordinary. And this is not just 1 year. This comes off the back of last year's losses as well. But is the business fundamentally in good shape?
Well, yeah, obviously you don't want to be losing $1.7 billion. That's the actual cash. But on top of that, you'll see a number bandied around today that they lost $2.3 billion. That includes a lot of aircraft write-down and also one-off redundancy costs that they've had to pay. So the airline right now has basically lost 9,400 people. So there's 9,400 people not employed there that were there previously. There's also 8,500 people who are stood down, most of those international crews who are not flying, who will come back into the airline. Now, you can see here, there's the statutory loss, $1.7 billion. There's no dividend, obviously. But the important thing to note here is that Qantas right now has got $3.8 billion worth of cash, so it can maintain itself. It's got net debt of $5.9 billion. And so the key here, Alan Joyce says, is it's got to get flying. Locally, internationally, really, these targets that have been set by the National Cabinet have got to be kept, and as a result, that's the way in which Australians get themselves moving again and we start opening up our economy.
I can't wait for you to speak to him at 10:45 this morning right here on AM Agenda. We'll see you then, Ross. I remember last time you interviewed him, you asked him if there'd be a return to those 1960-style airline price tickets. I hope he maintains that's not the case.
We'll wait and see what happens when we have a chat to him a little later on today.
We'll see you soon, Ross.